Talk about Nick Fuentes and Dave Portnoy.
Let's do it.
So I'm sure you saw this week, Dave Portnoy was very riled up. And if you're not, I've seen a lot of people misrepresent what happened, as often happens when a story gets as big as this got. So much like me when I first heard it, a lot of people fully don't know what happened. So I'll give a brief synopsis for those who may be misinformed on it. The Barstool Bar in Philadelphia is owned by Barstool Sports, which Dave Portnoy owns now. There's some element of this bar where you can pay to have a sign up at your table. It's like one of the VIP benefits. I don't get that world. I can't imagine. Ooh, we have to go to the bar where I can hang a phrase up on a sign. Like I don't get that world, but that's what it is. And
It's bottle service world. It's
bottle
VIP
service, yeah.
Bottle service, yeah.
People seem to like that. I guess it's not for me, but that's why I wasn't there. It's for the people that are there, I suppose. So these young whippersnappers walked in there, and they said, "My good woman, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like a sign up there. Could you write 'fuck the Jews,' please?"
Uh-oh.
And for some reason, this dumb fuck waitress said, "No problem." Right. She wrote the F, the U. She got all the way through, all the way to that last S, and didn't see a problem with the sign. It's just like, yep, hangs it up. And then the picture gets posted. It starts to get some traction online. Portnoy goes nuts. And this, I think, it seemed like maybe even he would admit was kind of a mistake, because this is the part that everyone's reacting to, where he goes, I want blood. I'm going to ruin these kids' lives. He said that originally and then kind of calmed down. He fired the waitress, which, by the way, like I know people are saying it's a free speech issue. I've talked a lot about this stuff over the years. That's one I don't have a problem with even a little bit. The idea of firing the waitress. Do you think I'm wrong in that at all, Casey Day?
No, that's a work issue for sure.
If you're dumb enough at a business to write "fuck the Jews" on the wall, that's a fireable offense anywhere I've ever worked or could even imagine working.
They spend money there too. Don't.
Right, exactly. And it's owned by one. So maybe don't write that on the walls.
That's good. Good point.
So yeah, the waitress getting fired, I have no problem with even a little bit. The part where it gets weird is he goes, "I'm going to ruin these guys' lives, the people that did this." And then he found out who it was. He puts their names out there, and then he says, "I'm gonna send them to Auschwitz," which I don't know if you know anything about Auschwitz. It has a bad reputation, but it turns out
is he gonna send them on a train?
It turns out they've cleaned the place up a bit over the last 80 years or so.
Okay.
It's a little nicer than it used to be. So it's actually now a place that people pay and get in line to go see. So I know I'm sure it's a very sad environment, but it is in a way a vacation destination. Another point to that end is that Dave said he'd be sending them to Germany, Auschwitz, Germany. Now,
Poland.
I got to be honest. If you quizzed me on it a week ago, 50-50 chance. I might have said Germany or Poland. I'm also a fucking idiot, but I'm not pretending. I'm not putting on a cape with a J on my chest and representing all Jews. I'm not pretending to be this hero of the Jewish people. So maybe if you're saying I got to educate these kids, you should probably know where Auschwitz is. That might be a good start. But like I said, I wouldn't have known that either. So he's like, I'm gonna educate these motherfuckers. And where I found it strange, and where I thought he lost his way a little bit, is when he was on the Unnamed show, and Kirk was asking him about this topic, and Kirk was kind of pushing back. He was pushing back a little. I think he more or less understood Dave's point and why he was so angry. But he was basically saying, isn't the best way to handle this is treat it like it was some fucking idiot that wrote something shitty on the wall. He's banned from the bar. The waitress is fired. Why do we have to go on a public crusade to out these people? And Dave said, well, Jewish hate is getting to maybe at the craziest time since, the 1940s, which seems a little extreme. But like Dave's pointing to his comments and being like, look at what people are responding. To that, I would say people are responding with a lot of this Jewish hatred because you threw a temper tantrum online and they said, oh, he's going to react. Like the fuck the Jews thing is a childish, it's not even anti-Semitism, it's shock jockery. It's an idiot. It's an absolute idiot thinking he's hilarious or edgy or crazy. Oh my God, do you believe what he did? Like the other thing they were pointing to, they're like, look at his social media. It's crazy. And the thing they were pointing to was a video of this Muhammad. I think Muhammad is his name. I don't know much about the kid.
Mo Khan, I think is his name.
Muhammad Khan. There's a video of him pouring water on a sleeping homeless guy.
Not good look.
Terrible. The kid's an asshole. But even to that, I would say that's proof to me it's not some intolerable ant of anti-Semitism. It's a retard who's acting out and wants the world to notice him. He's saying, notice me at whatever cost. And you just noticed him. You gave him exactly what he was begging everyone for all this time. And the problem is when you're Dave Portnoy, and people were tagging me because like they think I am looking for an opportunity to shit on Portnoy. No matter what Dave Portnoy says about me, he gave me a great opportunity that frankly I didn't do enough with, which is my fault. So I have no real ill will towards Portnoy. I don't really understand his opinion of me. Like he thinks I'm a terrorist. He legitimately thinks I tried to take the company down. When he talked about me a couple weeks ago, he was like, this is how like off he is on me to where now I used to get like worked up about it. Now I find it funny. He was like, Mike's the kind of guy, he'll cut your throat to get ahead. And I'm like, yeah, that's me, Dave. It's just a disloyal cutthroat. I'm like a character in Succession, basically. That's you've really zeroed in on who I am. So he's just so off on who I am that I can't even really get mad at it anymore. But like, he did a lot for me. So people were tagging me in this thing like, oh, well, you don't like the video of him dumping water on a homeless guy. You threw a wallet at Blind Mike without him knowing, just to see if he could see it. That is very different. Like I signed up for that. I volunteered for that. I said, do this shit. But where Portnoy does get a little lost is like, he's still the type of guy that would do something like that for shock value and to be funny. So I do get why people are trying. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison, but I get why people are saying like, Dave, you're so worked up about this issue, but haven't you done things that people have branded as insane or like shouldn't be tolerated in polite society? And no one tried to ruin your life, or the people that did, you fought against very hard. I don't think it's like a complete cancel culture issue, but Dave made it one when he said, I want to ruin this kid's life. Like that's where it got to a crazy point. So I think maybe just from listening to him on Unnamed Show, I think he kind of realizes he went too far with it. But I wanted to play this video because I thought it was a good example of what Dave inspired. Because now this shock jock is weighing in, Nick Fuentes, who you just gave these people so much ammunition. Whereas if you just quietly fired the girl and maybe even tweet, like, look at what this idiot did. Like, that's never accepted at our bar, whatever. It wouldn't be a story. But by making it a story, you fueled these people and gave them exactly what they wanted. And then this is what this fucking moron Nick Fuentes is doing this week.
Should our society be run by people like this? And listen, it's a fair question. Hey, Dave Portnoy. Hey, Jew, you run a gambling
All right,
site.
see? Now, this is what they do. When Portnoy's like, I can't believe the anti-Semitism. They're doing it to get a reaction. Like, that's what Nick Fuentes is. He's a shock jock. That's what all those people in the comments are doing when they're saying shit like that. It's not even anti-Semitism. They're begging you to notice them. And Portnoy just threw all these people a bone this week by saying, I'm going to do everything in my power to ruin these people. And then people like Nick Fuentes can go, see, guys, cancel culture. They don't let us say anything anymore. When at its core, it's not even that. That's not what the story is. The story was that some idiot waitress wrote a psychotic thing on the wall of a business. That's all the story should have been. And Dave Portnoy really said on the Unnamed show, he's like, I got distracted. And I was going to say this a couple minutes ago. But what he said on the Unnamed show was like, maybe by bringing this kid to Auschwitz, maybe I could start to change some of the anti-Semitism in this country. And it's like, well, that's just a delusional thought, Dave. Mm-hmm. If you think responding to this kid is going to do anything but inflame more hate, like, it's crazy. And then this is just what it resulted in, an idiot like this. But I'll say one nice thing about Nick Fuentes. He doesn't have the same... Remember last time we talked about Nick Fuentes? I think it was me and Craig. But he had more of the professor from The Simpsons voice. I think his balls have dropped a little bit. He's got a more masculine voice now.
He's in charge now. This guy's in charge of the country.
Yes. What a powerful guy.
You have destroyed
Lewis. This is gay. Lewis, if you're still here, this is gay.
More lives than this 21-year-old ever has. You make money off of sin. You make money off of the immiseration of millions of people. The way
I'm one of those people, Buster, and that seems a little extreme. Like, that's just not true. But this is what Dave sparked. Instead of just treating it as something, and that's where it's like, well, how much good do you really care about doing? Because when it doesn't involve your bar, are you out there fighting crusades against anti-Semitism, or do you just see this as an opportunity to own the biggest story of last weekend? You know, like Ben Stiller weighed in on this issue, so like a lot of people were interested in this story, and so Dave kind of capitalized on a moment where he could look like a hero. So that's the gross thing to me, is that like none of this involves anti-Semitism. It's just everyone trying to be noticed. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't some nut preaching hateful thoughts. It was a moron who wrote something stupid on the wall, and you gave him life. And now he's going on all these shows. I forget what show the guy was on. I'm just hearing a super chat that we got. For some reason, I can hear them today, and every once in a while, they make me laugh. So I don't mind.
I'll go find and turn them off.
I don't mind it. I kind of find it amusing, especially based on the one we just got. But
wait till you hear it.
Yeah. But you do go. Am I making sense here? Like, I get that. Of course, fuck the Jews is an anti-Semitic statement. I'm not saying that. But my point is, there's nothing behind it. It's just a moron begging to be noticed, and you noticed him.
Mike, this happened the same week. Ye dropped a song called HH.
I think the same. Genuinely, I think the same thing about Kanye. I think, first of all, I think Kanye's mentally ill, so it's different. But I think Kanye's just begging to be noticed. I don't know if he believes anything he's saying. I mean, at a certain point with some of these people, you do have to take them at their word. You know, if Kanye praises Hitler enough, eventually you got to be like, all right, I guess the guy's anti-Semitic. But
there's a swastika in his store, so yeah, I guess we're looking pretty anti-Semitic.
I think it's people begging to be noticed, and that's what I think Nick Fuentes is. I think now Nick Fuentes is at the point where he believes a lot of this shit. But I think he was just like a shock jock, like a lot like Gavin McInnes and Milo Yiannopoulos and a lot of these guys, where it was just they started out wanting to be noticed, and then they found themselves like, well, I can't just break out of this character now. I have to be this guy.
The app works is if you start winning, they don't let you bet anymore. It's designed for people to lose money. It's designed and it's promoted and sold to people.
Is that true? They don't let you bet anymore if you win money on I don't think that's true.
That would happen one time.
I don't think anyone would use it.
And no one would use the app anymore. No.
Yeah.
No. This is a parlay loser. You can hear talking right here. He's lost a parlay. You know, he's a sore loser.
Money to take advantage of desperate addicts in many cases, losers, poor people, wishful thinking. hey, Jew, you make
So
money.
you see what I mean? Like that's what it inspired, is just for people to do that and for everyone to go, ooh, how edgy. Oh my God, can you believe Nick Fuentes is saying this stuff? And it's just shocking to me that now it's been 10 years now. Like the entire Trump era, no one has understood that if you just treated some of these people as like, oh, they're trying to be shocking, it wouldn't be that big a fucking deal. But you've empowered people like Nick Fuentes because you go, this has to be stopped. Stop saying these words. These are bad words. You have to stop saying them. Like everyone freaks out over language. And that's where it is a cancel culture issue in a way. Again, the aspect of the actually writing the sign at the business, who gives a shit? That person should be fired, obviously. But the idea of Portnoy getting that mad and saying, I want to ruin the lives, that's where it became kind of a cancel culture type story. Like, I'm on a crusade to ruin these people now. And I think he even backed off a bit and would probably admit that was a mistake. But now people are just running with the initial reaction. You know, I think if he could take it back, he wouldn't have made a video an hour after he found out about it or whatever it was. Like
It's
that.
so, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's so anti-Barstool brand. Like, if you think about where Barstool came from.
I learned a valuable lesson with this man. I used to say that. Guys, that was Casey Day. When you clip this, it was him, not me. I used to say that. I thought Dave was a little more like Kirk in that he like cared about issues like that. And sometimes he does. Like when Mincy got fired for rapping the N-word, you could tell that really bothered him. And like he did what he could to get Mincy a job. And I do think in a way that like inspired him to buy the company back. So he has moments of caring about that stuff. But as I learned, he's just a guy, he's a businessman. He's looking to make money. He's not a comedian. He doesn't give a shit about like what's best for funny, you know? Well, he doesn't care about what's best for comedy. He cares about what's best for the business. So that's a mistake I made a long time ago because I used to be like, Dave, that's what Barstool is supposed to represent. And I was quickly put in my place and taught that's not what Barstool represented. I was wrong about that. So that's where I will correct you. But I think a lot of people mislabel it in that way and have the same thought that I did. Like, why doesn't he think differently on this issue? Because you think it's supposed to be some bastion of free speech at Barstool, and it isn't really. But also, like, do you want to be this guy that eradicates anti-Semitism? Or do you want to grade pizza and talk with your little schmoopy whoopy dog? Like, because that's also hard for people to differentiate too. Like, are you a social justice crusader or are you the pizza guy? You know, and you can be both. I think you absolutely can be both, but you're going to inspire shit like this online. I think we're done with Fuentes. You get the point. But
yeah. Well, imagine if like Hassan did ice cream review. Like, all right, Gaza was terrible today, but this sherbet.
But I don't even mind that if you're good at it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like we talked about it with Dave Smith, that whole Douglas Murray thing, where it's like, well, is Dave a comedian or is he a political commentator or is he a historian? Like, what is Dave Smith even? I don't mind if you do multiple things, but if Dave's going to be the pizza guy, the dog guy, and the cure anti-Semitism guy, like he should learn where Auschwitz is, you know, and shit like that. Like he should probably be a little more well-versed in it because he stepped into this. It doesn't seem like knowing what he was getting into. I think he thought everyone would be like, get him, Dave. And I think a lot of his audience was like, what the fuck? Why are you going after these people? And originally he said, like, I want to, you know, expose the waitress that was in, like, why? Why did it come to this? It's very strange.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.